Hi friends! I am so excited because today I'm going to go see The Night House. I'm sure you've seen the title. I am excited because, again, obviously being able to go to the cinema, but because this psychological horror thriller looks very interesting and unlike most things I've seen this year. So I'm very keen to check it out for myself. Of course, this is a come with me video where I take you along with me, completely spoiler free, and let you know whether the movie is worth your time, if it was meant for you, or if you should just wait until it comes out on VOD. This one stars Rebecca Hall. It's about a widow who begins to uncover her recently deceased husband's disturbing secrets. It's also directed by David Bruckner, who did segments on Southbound, VHS, and he also directed Ritual, but even more so exciting, he is directing the upcoming Hellraiser movie. So I'm very excited to see how he does with this and if I can see Hellraiser in his style of directing, which I think it's just going to be very different. I did see part of this trailer when I went and saw Escape Room 2, and I probably would recommend not to watch the trailer because I feel like some reveals, obviously to hook you in, are in the trailer, but I'm just so excited. I'm also seeing this one in a small, more independent cinema, so that is awesome. That's kind of it. That's all I know. I saw part of the trailer. I started looking away when it got to the montage part where I just felt like there was so many reveals. So I'm just happy that I've forgotten most of it and we're gonna go in as blind as possible, just knowing the log line. So let's go and see The Night House. Hi friends! I just finished watching The Night House. This film was not what I expected at all, and it's really interesting from seeing the trailer. It's in a way completely different, but also kind of it's not like a negative or a positive. It's kind of like it threw me so far off that I was kind of happy that it followed its own like beat of the drum. Because the trailer seemed like it gave away a whole lot. Maybe not the answer, but the whole kind of like, not, I guess, twist, but not really the causation for it. Where in this, I was just completely shocked. And by the time something happens in the film that's in the trailer that seemed like the twist, not the twist, but a reveal, it was so different to what I thought it was going to be about anyway, that I think it was okay. As I said, this film is about a woman. It starts with it's about a woman. It starts with a woman returning home from what seems to be her husband's wake, and she's in this house and she is battling with her husband's recent and violent death, and she takes the necessary, it's like ignorance is bliss kind of situation. She takes these steps to try and find out why what happened to him, but it just takes her so far down the rabbit hole, and the realization of what actually happened is just so far off base of what you could imagine. The film is, as I said, it's a psychological horror thriller. I definitely stand by that, but it also kind of goes into another subgenre, which I'm not going to talk about because it is part of kind of the reveal and, you know, the answer to the situation. And I was just really... the film feels very offbeat, and I would say if I had to describe this film in one word, it would be unexpected, because it feels so offbeat, and that happens with every part of the film. During the slower parts, it seems like just something is a little bit wrong, and it kind of holds that feeling and that tension in everything feeling a little bit off. But it also does so in the scares, which they're just offbeat. And when I say offbeat, I mean that literally. It's like when you feel like there's gonna be a jump scare, it doesn't happen. And then other times, it really does have some scares in it that I screamed, other people screamed in the cinema, and it was quite cute. Usually I like when the cinema's really quiet, but there was this like middle-aged couple beside me, and I went with my friend Scott, and I could see during the movie they were like, oh, and it was really cute to see them like so into it. I just love that. You could see that they were really appreciating the movie. Rebecca Hall was absolutely fantastic in this role, and it really does expect a lot from her because, yeah, it really is all depending on her. It's a very silent film, and you're following her through, obviously, the emotions of grief is... I mean, that's hard to match, but what she did, she had to go several steps further. And yeah, you just see her go through everything in this film. And I thought that she just did a fantastic job. So she's someone I already knew about. Obviously, I've seen her in a lot of films, but this one really will make me remember her name for sure. As I said with sound, the film is quite a quiet movie. And again, relies on creaks and whispers and all that like spooky stuff. But then also it has interesting aspects with the cinematography because they do something where they play with a different aspect that you don't usually see in horror movies. It's quite an obvious aspect, but something that is kind of like a trick of the eye situation. And I thought that was really cool in this, something different, but also did not feel like it fit the story. Everything in this film is just like, it almost feels like it's the third draft, like it's not the fourth, or, you know, I guess fourth is final to me, but it's just not the final draft. It felt like it was just one off because it is so offbeat and it doesn't feel like it's smooth, but more so it's in an interesting way where, and this is going to sound strange, let me know if you understand what I mean, but a lot of films feel offbeat when they're foreign films. They're not Hollywood, they're not following a certain like structure and flow, and hitting certain points at certain parts of the film, or at least you know where it's kind of going. So this film to me, even though it's an American film, it felt like a foreign American film. I know it's not an independent film, but it does have that kind of feel in the way it's not conforming to some kind of a structure, like the common tent poles, especially with this being a very mainstream, like this is in all the cinemas here, and it's a very intense horror film where I thought it was going to more side on psychological thriller, really show the aspects that were in the trailer and just be about that, but it really takes it like 6 steps further. It's kind of like if you have seen The Empty Man. I mean, it's nothing to do with the same stuff, but when you go into a film thinking it's about one thing and then it's just like completely off base, and I don't know whether I preferred this or I would have liked what I wanted to, like what I assumed the film was about, but it was just very different. And I mean, we're all for surprises, so in one way I would say definitely go see this one as soon as you can, because so people don't spoil the surprise. That's usually how I feel about films that have such a different outcome than what we all expected, but at the same time it's so complex, and the clues and the way it all kind of unravels, it's so deep, like the rabbit hole goes so deep that it doesn't feel like it could be easily explained. I don't feel like you could hear a 1 or 2 word, or maybe you could, but I don't feel like the whole thing could be explained really easily. I think you definitely need to check out the film for that. In saying that, they do explain everything in the film, so I did feel like halfway through I had a horrible feeling that this was going to go nowhere. This was going to be like the turn of the screw and it was just going to end. But it does get explained, but because it takes so long to kind of explain itself, because it really holds that, you know, that card in its hands for so long, I would have actually liked it to go more in depth with it, because it is something that they have not really tried from this angle in horror before, or recently in horror. So I thought it had a really original take on the aspect that it explores. So I would have liked it to go deeper into that, but it kind of just explains itself and has like a very interesting climax, and that's kind of, yeah, it calls it a day, which kind of leaves you again feeling that strange offbeat. Did that really hit the mark, or was it just like a second off? And when I say offbeat, I mean it's just not happening on the beat. It's not on those moments where you think things are going to happen. They happen completely different. But again, I think that's probably a good thing. We've all seen the same stuff. We know the same, you know, someone the other day was complaining about a movie, I won't say what it is just in case, and how, you know, they do the whole, you know, a symbol at the start where that comes back later in the film, and when you're a horror watcher and someone says a throwaway line that doesn't seem to quite fit in with that dialogue or shows an object or what have you, you know it's going to come back in later. And so that's what I mean about, like, we all know these beats and these common beats in these films, but this one just felt like it was just something else. And that's all I can say. The Night House is really just a different, unexpected journey, and it doesn't try and fit in any pigeonhole, and for that you kind of applaud it, but I also don't think it has great watchability. But I did jump a couple times, and I'm glad I saw it. I was just kind of thrown off, which is good. I'm going to give this film a 6 out of 10. I know. It's the hard thing for me is I can really appreciate a film, but also know that it could have been different and much better. Doesn't mean I'm gonna like completely knock it, but that's why I'm here. I'm here to discuss like my feelings with you. But of course, I enjoyed going to see it. And also on that, there was one scene for me that just completely threw the spookiness off. It just took it a little bit too far for me, and I wonder if you watch this movie, put it down, like obviously, you know, type it at the bottom of your comment, but let me know if you think you know the scene I'm talking about, because there's just one scene I was like, come on, it's a bit too much. But anyway, so Scare, I'm actually going to give it a 6 out of 10. No, a 7 out of 10. I thought it was quite spooky. I was actually quite scared during this film, but not scared in the way that I was scared something under the bed's going to get me. More, the jump scares really got me. And for originality, I'm going to give it a 8. I thought it was quite an original film. As I said, offbeat, much to the beat of its own drum, and also dealing with subject matters that we have seen and we all know, but wrapping it up in a different way that you're not even sure what you're watching. So I thought that was really well done, and I loved Rebecca Hall's performance. If you're a fan of her, definitely see this at the cinema. But I do think, if you're worried about spoilers, I mean, check it out as soon as you can, but I do think this might be one to save for VOD. Just make sure you watch it, as I always say, watch it, you know, in a dark room, because it is a little bit more slow in some parts. It just feels, I'm trying not to say offbeat again, unexpected, and it just has a very interesting flow to it. So some parts do seem like it kind of like dips down and like dulls for a moment. It's not like it builds tension throughout the whole film. There's like dips and dives in it. So if you can hold that kind of attention at home, maybe just, you know, limit distractions, obviously, as we do with most films. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I am so excited because I have some great news for you. My next couple of videos are going to be come with me's as well. Obviously, one is Candyman. I'm seeing Candyman next week, and I'm going to see Don't Breathe tomorrow, but I'll save that video for the start of next week. And yeah, I'm very excited to see both of them. Obviously Candyman a little bit more, but I'm very open to seeing Don't Breathe. Anyway, so stay tuned for those videos. If you haven't subscribed, please do. I do many videos about horror movies, but you have those 2 videos coming up to look forward to. Thank you so much for being here and for supporting me. I love you guys so much, and I'll talk to you all very soon. Stay safe and stay spooky. And let me know if you saw this film and what you thought down in the comments. Bye, guys.